Kadri ji, Asutapa ji, and Vishwasali ji, the three distinguished deans on the dais, faculty members, and my dear students from different schools of Xavier Institute of Management Industry. A very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you. Since now you are all ready to listen to me, you are all eager. So my request would be kindly close your copies. I am not your professor or teacher in the class where you have to take notes for writing exam. So you should be with me for the next maybe 45 minutes. And I'll throw open for next half an hour. Then I'll take any of your questions related to this subject or subject beyond it also. Anything correlated. I'll take your question. Why don't you also take seat? There is a seat level right there. So you can also be attentive. Yeah. So for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you on this very important subject. Sustainable development for Viksit Bharat at 2047. You must understand the subject of Viksit Bharat 2047. What is that? And then sustainable development, how do you connect both these subjects? I will start with a statement which you must have heard many times. Maybe you have quoted in your essays in your college or maybe even in the here. The world has enough for everyone's need, not for everyone's. Very famous statement, though I couldn't find from which particular text it has come from, but this is quoted quite often. But it is has a deep meaning related to the sustainability. That there is sufficiency. The first thing is sufficiency. The world has got enough. There is sufficiency. But at the same time, next to the sufficiency, the next question is use in moderation. The world has got enough, but you cannot just get everything used so that your next generation is starving. So use in moderation. There is a thinking for your next generation. And also, nobody is left behind. The concept of trusteeship, the concept of Antodaya. You understand the concept of trusteeship? We are all, whatever is given to us by the nature God, whatever is given to us by the nature, that is all limited. And that has to sustain for the future generations. The humanities can go on only if we use what is available to you in moderation with a clear focus on something should be left for the next generation so that they can also stay. This is a very, very important statement by our Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi. I take another statement from our Vedic text, Mata Bhumi Putro Ham Prithivyā. The earth is my mother and I am her son. This is the feeling that earth is our mother and mother is the most reverent relationship. There is no relation which is better than the mother and the child. And mother never wishes any ill of the child, and the child also is so much dependent on the mother. He takes all the energy from the mother. So mother and child relationship with the earth. So you have to use what is available with the mother. You just can't finish all the resources. You have to use it in a discrete manner so that it is available for the next generation. In fact, our Vedic texts, whether it is about the water, whether it is about the other aspects of the nature, whether it is about afforestation, all these things, there's so much Vedic text, various kinds of all our Vedas, we will find that it is all full of respect for the nature. And it is all weaving into the sense of sustainability. Now I come to the Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat 2047. Let me ask you a question. I mean, whether any of you are aware of the Panch Pran? Where does this concept of Viksit Bharat 2047 come from? Just raise your hand. Any of you? Any of you have heard the Prime Minister speaking on 15th of August 2022 from the ramparts of the Red Fort? Any of you just please raise your hand? No? They are all very important students. You are the future leaders of India. The concept of Viksit Bharat 2047 came from that speech. And I'll urge all of you, it is all available on the YouTube. Kindly spend some maybe 73 to 75 minutes. Hear that speech. Where the Prime Minister says, today, this is on 15th August of 2022, is the beginning of the AMRUT Kal, the beginning of the golden period of Indian history post-independence. And this is going to culminate on 15th August of 2047. That is when the country celebrates its 100th anniversary of Indian independence. And this period of 25 years, this golden period, he has given Panch Pran. The first Pran is, we will all make India Viksit by 2040. So this is the first Pran. The first vow in that speech is, we as Indian, as a team India will make India a Viksit Bharat by 2047. This is the first Pran, first vow. And this is coming from the voice of Honorable Prime Minister. This is the vow of the nation. This is all your vows, that we will make our country Viksit by 2047. Now he elaborates it further. The second thing he says, that said all kinds of colonial mindset. I mean, we always, for example, Kadri ji was saying, I found, I had an opportunity to travel across the world in my different capacity in Government of India and the state government. I also had an opportunity to study in 3 different universities abroad for doing my MBA, for doing my Masters in Public Policy, for doing another course. And I found that we are matchless. Yet we go with a kind of inferiority feeling that we are. The moment somebody comes from, say, the white skin, you feel that he is more superior. No. It's only the 1,000 years of the colonial period, post 1000 AD, that we have lost pride in ourselves. We started respecting things which is coming from outside. So if you set this colonial mindset, then you will realize how important you are. And one simple example, which you will all understand. You are aware of the COVID 2019. See how this has, completely shaken the whole world. The world economics, economies which were considered to be the best economies, the health system which are considered to be the top 1, 2, 3, 4, has just completely shaken that. And how India has come out of that COVID-19, we came victorious. We came as Atmanirbhar Bharat. We provided medicines to more than 80 countries, vaccines to more than 80 countries. We provided so many things to so many countries. India had the national infrastructure pipeline of 111 lakhs crores. That's what we did during the COVID-19. India immediately after that vowed for going for Viksit Bharat 2047. So all this has happened because you set your colonial mindset and have faith in you, you can really make that happen. The third vow is taking pride in our own legacy. We have such a rich culture, such a rich history, which we have forgotten. I was just going over in the Bhubaneswar for the last evening and today. It's a rich culture and history of Bhubaneswar. We should all take pride in it. And once you say, if our ancestors could do it 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back. Mr. Shashank is here. He was saying 10,000 years back. The Jain caves 10,000 years back, they were there. If our ancestors could do it 10,000 years back, what is that you can do? You have got immense power. That's what you should realize. Then strengthening unity, integrity, and inclusiveness. The last is doing our duty. That is being an Indian, doing our duty. These are the 5 Panch Pran through which we will make the country Viksit Bharat. And what is Viksit Bharat? I have just tried to elaborate this. First, world-class infrastructure. And that's already happening. I mean, we are only in the third year of AMRUT Kal. Whether it is road, rail, metro, regional rapid transport, whether it is your national waterways, national highways, think of anything. Infrastructure, the world-class infrastructure. Now we are going to have bullet train. So high-speed trains, so many tracks, I mean the Vande Bharat trains, so many things are happening across the country. Now people with the much lesser economic background, they are traveling in air, Udan scheme. So this is the change in the infrastructure. The country's infrastructure is changing very fast. And maybe another 22 to 23 years, when you are the prime of your career, the country will be developed. Developed like countries like USA, Canada, Germany, Britain. I mean, such countries, you will be at par with them in different things. The technological development, the way technology is developing, the way things are changing. We are in the upfront technology. When it came the 5G, we are right there. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, biotechnology, various aspects of biotechnology. Everywhere we are right there. Ocean technology. Did you hear the Prime Minister speaking this 15th August 2025? He spoke about mineral exploration beneath the sea. And I had a privilege of, as a Joint Secretary Mines in the year 2014, I had gone to South Korea to get one of the best exploratory ship. I mean, this is in the region from Busan. I wish such kind of ship is manufactured in our country, and they are not very far when they start manufacturing that kind of ship, which is serving our Indian PSI. So the technological innovation in the country is, I mean, the innovation, the technological development is moving at a much faster pace. The way we have changed our UPI, the DPI, digital public infrastructure. Now the countries across the globe, they are wondering how India is moving so fast. It's all because of young youth, the people who have realized their strength. So that's how it is the technological development. Third is the socio-economic development. Social development. I mean, whether it is education, health, entertainment, various kinds of social aspects, they also have to be of the global standard. Economic development. We are already the 4th largest economy in the world. And in next couple of years, we are going to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. It is projected that we will be something like $35 to $40 trillion economy by 2047. And you will be at your prime age of your career. This is the period 2047. So this is how the economic and the socio-economic development is taking place in the country. Inclusive development. Nobody is left behind. The concept of Antodaya. I mean, now the women's participation in their job market. Women's participation, I mean, now you find that you see our Republic Day parade. It is being led by a woman. Earlier we didn't have. I mean, I have served in the Home Ministry as a director and also as a Joint Secretary. Those days when we were inducting women in some part of the force, it was considered they will not be able to do it. And today you find the women is in the combat of Air Force, in the Army, in the Navy, in all the paramilitary forces. Women have gone to the space program. So this is Now this is inclusive development. India is changing. Now we find inclusivity in all kinds of the differences which were there. That you can't do this, you can't do that. Various kinds of things which were there, they are all changing. And the last is the global leadership. Ultimately, India has to lead the world, and it's already. I mean, you must have seen the way our Honorable Prime Minister is respected across the globe, and especially the global South. India has to take that leadership. It has to speak, it has to talk. You had the G20. You saw the G20, the way it was celebrated, the way countries participated. So this is all will make Viksit Bharat 2047. I thought it is very important when I speak to contextualize on the subject of sustainable development. I wanted to contextualize, and you must do some research. And definitely, I will recommend you very strongly that you should listen to the Prime Minister's speech from the YouTube, maybe just today, just to express that he spent some say 73, 75 minutes. Listen to the speech, and you will feel what Viksit Bharat is and what the country is doing for that Viksit Bharat 2047. I quote here a statement by our Honorable Prime Minister, which was given in the International Conference on Rule of Law. Here it is: anything with which compromises on the ability of the future generations. The same thing which I had mentioned about the Prime Minister or Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, meet the requirement cannot be called development. If you are only thinking of your selfish about you, this generation, me, myself, people around me, if you are just thinking about this, this is not the development. You have to be, akin to the nature. Nature serves everybody. Nature serves today, tomorrow, and day after. And that is what Honorable Prime Minister has focused in his speech in the Conference on Rule of Law. Another statement by the Prime Minister. This was in the Sustainable Summit 2023. The way forward is collectiveness and not selectiveness. The word is one. It is one family. Remember G20, what was the logo? Any of you can quote that? Yes, please go ahead. No, please stand up. And first first introduce yourself. What's your name? And then, okay. Somebody else will try? Yes, please. Go ahead.
Logo of G20, one earth, one family.
Very good. You have tried. It's a good try, but I think something is missing. Somebody else will fill up the blank. Thank you. Good. Well done.
Okay. Welcome, sir.
Somebody else will fill up. There is something is missing. Some hand there. Please stand up. Yes, I think I can see one on the back. Please stand up, introduce yourself and speak.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Julius Musari. I am from second year MBA in Sustainability Management. Sir, it is one earth, one family, one future.
Excellent. Very good. So he filled the blank. This is one earth, one family, and one future. We just cannot segregate people here and there and say that only, this part of the world is the richest part of the world where we use all the resources, because we are all, it's a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one globe, one family. And this is coming from our Vedic text, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We have one future, and it is only one earth. You see, there was a study by Mrs. Brundtland in 1987. It's a UN study, and that started the whole discourse of sustainability. This was the first time there was the Earth Summit in Rio, and this particular statement started the whole thing. Sustainability is defined as the ability to fulfill the current generation's need while ensuring that of the future generations will also be able to meet their needs. That you are also thinking about the future and not only of today. And a book which came when I was in the college, it was a very widely read book. Maybe I would recommend you to read it. It's a very interesting read. Small is Beautiful by Schumacher. The Schumacher's Small is Beautiful is the concept of, how you can use the appropriate technology to utilize only that much which is needed. You are not dispensable. So now I come with these statements. I come straight to the sustainability. When we talk about the sustainability, there are three things which come to our mind. The first thing is the planet. The planet is not there, we are not going to do. The first thing we must save the sustainability is planet means the environment. We must save the planet. The planet is there, then only we are there, or the rest of the things are there. So is the planet is the first priority. The second is the people. If the people are not there, the rest businesses, you can be MBA, you can be, you can manufacture industry, you can do any kind of service. If the people are not there, the rest of things has no meaning. That's the second priority. The third is the profit. It doesn't start the other way. You first have the profit, gain the maximum what you can do. So for example, Madam was speaking about the water sustainability. If we start extracting water, you know how much of water we have got in India? Just 4% of the global fresh water is available in India. And how much population we are surviving on that 4% water? More than 17%, close to 18%. That means our water availability is much less and consumption is much more. So you need to conceptualize on sustainability how we can save water. Every drop of water is very, very important. Maybe today you feel that I have the abundance of water, but tomorrow you have no water. Many cities have been washed away from the history only because of water. So these three P's you must remember: planet, people, and the profit. And this is also in the sustainability discourse. It is also used as a triple bottom line: environment, social, and economic. But there's another way of seeing it. This is called the V approach. The V approach is, first, you are going to be in some business, maybe production. I, as a manufacturer, the chain, the supply chain is the U, and the society and the environment is the they. So all these three things are intertwined with each other. We need to see that how we can make sure that the chain will continue. So this is what is sustainability is. He said, one earth, one family, one future. There is always a trade-off. What I should do, and ultimately the objective should be how we can sustain the world to continue. Some of the things which I'm giving this task to you, you can do some research because I don't have time to go more details on this. The Kyoto Protocol. When you talk about the sustainability, this is one thing which is widely discussed. Like Greenland statement, as I said, you can do some more research on it. You will find a whole lot of things. So the Kyoto Protocol, the Rio Earth Summit, 2012. This was a time when the whole world leaders, the leaders from all across the world, it was a summit. They all gathered together in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and they discussed about the future of the earth. They started this was the thing from where we started the concept of sustainable development goals. The UN Framework Convention on the Climate Change, the Conference of Parties, the famous COP21, where that this is intended nationally determined commitments, that the concept was started from there in the COP21 and COP26. Our Honorable Prime Minister gave some statement which I think I've summarized in the next one. The Sustainable Development Goal. I think you must have read about Sustainable Development Goal, which speaks about hunger, the poverty, sustainability, water, planet, the sea, the health. All aspects related to the human life. The different goals, the 17 different goals are there. They are further sub-broken into various sub-goals, and how we can make sure there are targets for 2030. How in the 15 years the world will catch, so that this planet will continue, the people will continue, and also the profit will continue, so that there is a business, this whole thing will continue. The COP26, which I mentioned, where was this COP26? Any of you can guess? Yes?
Glasgow.
Glasgow. Okay, and where is Glasgow? Where is Glasgow?
UK, sir.
Okay, good. So this Glasgow, this is the famous statement by our Honorable Prime Minister, the Panchamrit. I mean, here was this, in this COP26, Prime Minister committed that by 2070 there will be net zero emission in India. This is a huge challenge, and for all of you, when the Prime Minister commits this before the world community, it becomes immediately, it's a responsibility on all of us, and especially those who are in the positions of responsibility, to make sure that the country moves in that particular direction. Net zero emission. What do you mean by the net zero emission? When you say it's a carbon emissions, any of you can elaborate? What do you mean with the carbon emissions? Any of you? Well, you are students of sustainability, you must have read about the carbon emissions. What is considered in the carbon emissions? Yes, please go ahead. Can somebody have sent a mic? Yeah, here. Right here. Here. Okay, you can give it there.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Saptangshu. I'm from second year MBSM. So carbon emissions is the amount of carbon that is emitted from any source. Comes under three scopes, scope 1, 2, and 3. 1 being what's directly in your boundary, 2 being what's through your energy purchases, and 3 being what is indirectly emitted.
So, be more specific.
Carbon emission is the amount of emissions is the amount of GHG that is actually going into atmosphere.
GHG is the
GHG
greenhouse
is
gas.
greenhouse gases. Yes.
What constitutes in the greenhouse gases?
There are 5 greenhouse gases, 6 greenhouse gases. So, now there are 7 greenhouse gases.
Okay, let him continue. Let him continue. Anybody can add to that. Yes, go ahead, please. Please go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Devashish Paikra. I'm a second year MBSM student. So, according to GHG protocol, there are 7 greenhouse gases: CO2, CH4, N2O, HFCs, PFCs, SF6, and NF3 is the latest addition.
Okay, and what emits all this? What are the specific sources which emit all this?
Transport, industrial emissions. We have urban infrastructure, so housing and buildings. The agriculture is the major contributor of CH4.
Yes, and a lot of factories, whether it's steel factory or whether it's a cement factory, a lot of things which are emitting, the powerhouses. Okay, good. So this emission has to become the net zero. When you say 1 ton of emission, what is 1 ton of carbon emission? Can you guess 1 ton of carbon emission? I thought, you will all be knowing that 1 ton of carbon emission. We talk in terms of billion tons of carbon emissions, which you are quoting here. When you say 1 ton of carbon emission, what is that 1 ton of carbon emission? It's nearly 27 feet cube. If you take 27 feet cube and it is a carbon dioxide, that is 1 ton of carbon emission. So you can guess and how much of the carbon is there in terms of the carbon dioxide and the CH4 and various other nitrous oxide and all those things which you are mentioning. So this carbon emission has to become net zero. And it is possible, one, either there is no emission, or if there is an emission, that is also absorbed. So either you absorb it or you don't transmit it. And all those factors which are emitting, you have to keep on reducing their emission levels. At the same time, you have to develop such kind of afforestation or such kind of things which can absorb all those emissions, and then you will come to the net zero. Because today the climate change is one of the biggest danger to the society. I mean, what is happening in various areas? I mean, you mentioned about the urban areas. Urban area, you can see the flooding. I mean, every day on TV, you must be seeing the flooding. One, why the flooding is there? Flooding is there because of now there is a splash rains. Rains comes with a high intensity, and the drainage system has not been prepared. This has not been built in a manner so that you will take so much of water. If it cannot be taken away, then it all floods the urban areas. There is also the heat waves. Urban area, you find urban area becomes a lot of heat traps are there in the urban areas. So this climate change because of the carbon emissions. Now the whole world is aware about it, and we need to take action. And there, the Honorable Prime Minister has given a commitment that by 2070 we'll get to the net zero emission. But also he has given sub targets. By 2030, we will have the non-fossil fuel energy capacity of 500 gigawatts. This is one of the targets which he has given in the Panchayat. Non-fossil fuel. That means something which does not emit carbon. Things like hydro. That all the non-renewable sources, solar, wind energy, such kind of energy, nuclear energy. So such kind of energy will contribute to non-fossil the 500 megawatt by 2030. Also meeting 50% of the energy requirement through the renewable sources by 2030. That is the country's, what is the total country's requirement? Currently, we are producing around 480 gigawatts. And if you have heard Prime Minister speaking on the 15th August 2025, he mentioned that 5 years ahead of our target, out of 480 plus, we are already we are producing more than 240 gigawatts to the renewable energy sources. So this is a major achievement country is proud of. Reducing the total carbon emission by 1 billion tons by 2030. Already, this is being monitored by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and also it is not one ministry. It's a multiple departments, the multiple ministries. They will all. The Ministry of Environment and Forest is the coordinating ministry. What kind of action you are taking on the transport? What kind of action you are taking in the urban sector? What kind of action you are taking in the heavy industry? Different kind of action in the power sector. There is a power ministry. What kind of action you are taking in different places, so that either the sink is improving or emission is reducing. Now I am just going to share with you some of the initiatives which are being taken, environmental initiatives. I just mentioned to you more than 50% which came in the news immediately after 15th of August. The way country is, there is a national hydrogen mission. Honorable Prime Minister announced in this 15th August speech that country is going to make 10-fold of the nuclear energy. Currently, our nuclear energy is around say 9 gigawatt. We are going to produce something like 100 gigawatt by 2047. Nuclear energy, for the first time, it is being the micronuclear. For the first time, the private sector has been given opportunity to work in the nuclear field. There are a lot of policy level changes are happening so that we can have more of nuclear. There is a lot of policy level changes so that there is more of the solar. Most Bijli Ghar, what is the Surya Yojana, that PM Saur Yojana, through which all the rooftops, that you get so much of rooftop solar energy. So there is a wind program, wind mission is there, so that the wind power, we can have more and more of wind power. So there is a specific mission or a specific program from the central government, incentives, so that all this renewable energy is increasing, and it will make it, almost like the target is 100 gigawatt by 2047 of the nuclear energy. Something like 1800 gigawatt of solar energy by 2047. So we produce so much of energy through the non-renewable sources, so that we offset the emissions which are coming through the carbon sources of the fossil fuels. This is again announcement coming through the 15th August speech that the country will be Atmanirbhar in electricity by 2047. Today, our major import is coming from the petroleum and petroleum products. If we convert our transport into the, say it is a solar driven, or maybe electrical driven, or maybe hydrogen driven, I mean the green hydrogen energy is driven, so all that cost will come down. We don't have to import so much of oil. And that is why there was an announcement that we are going for also looking for the various kinds of mineral resources in, on the sea. Some of the special measures which are being taken is the National Solar Mission, which I already mentioned. There is a huge solar parks, whether in Gujarat, Rajasthan, various other states. I mean, I was Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh. We declared Ayodhya as the solar city. We had a 50 megawatt of solar production in Ayodhya so that we make it self-sustainable. This city of Dew, which is completely, it's a 100%, is totally either wind or solar, dependent on that. So the country is working on the Ladakh. The country is working on such things so that you become more and more dependent on the renewable energy. The National Hydrogen Mission, the offshore wind policies, the battery energy storage. I mean, a lot of work is going on, a lot of research is going on the battery storage energy. The problem with these solar or with the wind is that it is dependent upon the time, it is dependent upon the kind of natural environment. I mean, the wind energy is not going to be the same all through. So you need to store that energy so that whenever needed, you can offset it, you can put it in the grid so that the grid can be stable. So this lot of work is going, a lot of work in IITs, in various institutions are going on how to store the energy. There is a pump storage. Pump storage is something which has come up the new. There are a lot of pump storages are coming up. So you raise some water, store that water, and use that water for the generation of the energy in the night. So the solar can be used for pump storage, or the wind can be used for the pump storage, and this can be used when more energy is needed in the night. You can use that pump storage energy for this. So a lot of research is going on because we are talking in terms of 2047, and India is now a hotbed for innovations, hotbed for startups. Then one sun, one word, and one grid. That the International Solar Alliance, on the initiative of India, the International Solar Alliance was set up in India itself, and it is I mean, just increasing the membership, and more nations are coming there. And once we have that one solar, one grid, it will be much easier to stabilize because the sun movement is across the globe. So you will be able to, wherever the sun is there, that energy is getting manufactured, and that can go into the grid. The concept of the electrical grid, which you are aware. PM Kusum scheme, using the solar energy for the use of the farmers. Somebody said that agriculture was one of the, greenhouse gas producer. So now this, through the Kusum scheme, rather than depending on the diesel, depending on the diesel pumps, they can get onto the solar pumps. And this is being promoted in a big way. National action on the enhanced energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is another area which is the country is focusing on, so that whatever energy is saved, that much energy you can consider, that much energy has been produced. So whether it is on the various kinds of the electrical gadgets, now they are all rated, platinum rated, gold rated, silver rated, or different kind of ratings are there. How much efficient is the particular gadget, whether it is the any kind of the personal gadget or a public gadget, that gadget is, how much efficient that is the focus of the country's research. Now I'm giving you this is just 2 slides to give you exposure of what urbanization is going on. Urbanization in our country, earlier we were mostly the rural country. But in the year 2011 census, now the next census is going to take place now, 2011 census, for the first time the decadal growth of the urban area was more than that of the rural area. And the projections are like this, that by now, today, the total population living in the urban area is close to 53 to 54 crores. Projections are by 2046, we are going to become major urban country. That is more than 50% of the population will be living in the urban areas. By 2050 or 51, our population will be something like 87 to 88 crores. We are going to add something like 30 to 35 crores in the next 2.5 decades. That is the kind of urbanization which is taking place. And this is also where our definition of the urban is not the same as many other countries are following. If you follow that definition, then maybe our urbanization is already crossed more than 50%. When urbanization is taking place, what it means? People are migrating from the rural to the urban areas. They are looking for better job. They are looking for better quality of life. They are looking for better schooling for the children. They are looking for better health facilities. But once they land up there, they start finding difficulty in the traffic. Traffic problem is there. Traffic congestion is there. They find problem in the housing. They find problem in the various kind of infrastructure. Even though they are able to earn more, but the quality of life may be compromised. There's a lot of unplanned developments, and there's a whole lot of initiatives are needed. I can take the whole couple of hours just only on this subject, the kind of challenges urbanization is offering, but yet India is coming with a lot of solutions. My almost 7.5 years in Ministry of Urban Development or Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs as Additional Secretary and Secretary, I was very fortunate to work on different kind of missions with the Swachh Bharat Mission, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is Housing for All Mission, Smart City Mission, AMRUT Mission, that is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, that is infrastructure, or Urban Livelihood Mission. So all these missions are focusing and addressing different aspects. One of the major programs is also the urban planning. Some of you are the students of urban management. Urban planning, I consider the most important, the key to whole urban management. If you have planned your urban area well, if you have planned in a way so that it is the transport, the infrastructure, the master plan, they are all integrated with each other, then the life becomes much more simpler. Now the whole concept of urban planning is changing. You just walk to your work. You can cycle to your work. You don't have to take long distance train or bus or your own car. So this urban management is most important, and that is the kind of challenge which is coming up for the new generation. Our urbanization is happening in a manner that more and more big cities are coming up. We had just say around 45%, more than 5 lakh cities. By 35, we'll have more than 60% of them. We had our more than 50 lakh cities were only 6. By 2009, it's going to be more than 13. Our million plus cities were only say 50 plus. It is going to be more than 150 by 2035. So our more and more the cities are growing. Towns are becoming bigger. Municipalities are becoming bigger. Municipal corporations are becoming bigger and bigger. And they are offering big challenges. Big challenges in terms of various things required for the human being for them to have good quality of life. So we need to address them to the proper planning and to proper implementation. Our growth is almost like 2 to 3%. There's some of the measures which are being taken is, as I mentioned, some of the missions which were there. I will give it to you, or if you ask some specific question, I'll be very happy to answer, whether it is smart or sustainable development, AMRUT or urban Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, SBM, or also the housing, whether whatever we are constructing, is that construction climate resilient? Is that construction sustainable? Is it producing less carbon? So for that, LEED or Griha ratings are there. The buildings have to get the LEED or Griha rating, and now this has become very, like the way sustainability has taken the front place. Now many companies, they are proud of showing they are got the Griha rating of 5-star or 4-star or 3-star. Or the different lead ratings of the platinum, gold, silver, and all that. The green transport. Transport is another contributor to the greenhouse gases, the major contributor. The green transport, the fuel emission standards. Now we are implementing the BS6, which is like Euro 6. And we are further, not that the BS6 is the final. We are further working on going for the next level. So reducing the emission becomes one of the major tasks in the transport industry. The green fuel sources, various kinds of sources which are required is now for the first time biofuel is getting blended with the normal fuel. Different sources, sustainable aviation fuel that is also come. Now you must have heard about this. So a lot of new fuels are coming so that there is less and less carbon emissions. There's the whole green automotive manufacturing. The government is promoting through the PLI scheme that those who come out with such manufacturing, the electrical vehicles or such vehicles with green hydrogen run vehicles, then there is a PLI scheme. There is a lot of incentive there. The green transport utilization. The Ministry of Urban and Housing has come with a scheme of PM-E-Bus Seva. The cities are given incentive to have electrical vehicles. There is a incentive by the Transport Ministry for the electrical transport vehicles. The regulatory incentives, like, if you use this, you get like the license fees is reduced. Various kinds of incentives are being given by the states and as well as the central government. For the sustainable transport, because transport is one of the major contributor to the greenhouses. This public transport, more and more use of the public transport will reduce the greenhouse effect. How we can promote that? One big example is the metro system. You are aware the metro system recently crossed more than 1,000 kilometers. Now 1,036 kilometers of metro are running in 22 cities. Another more than 950 kilometers of metro are getting constructed in 21 cities. More than 1 crore passengers are running every day on the metro system. More than 1 crore. I was fortunate. It was my great opportunity to work in that ministry, and I have been instrumental in moving these things forward. In fact, I had kept a target of by 15th August 2022, and that was my challenge. If the COVID was not there, maybe this 1,000 kilometers of metro and 1 crore plus passengers, they are already gone across 80 lakhs. We are already crossed 800 kilometers when the COVID struck, and that brought the whole thing down. But I'm very happy to see very recently more than 1,000 kilometers of metro and more than 1 crore passengers per day on the metro system. The regional rapid transport system. I had that great opportunity to start that thing from Delhi to Meerut for the first time. Delhi to Meerut, that 82 kilometers, 55 kilometers is already operational. And that is going to take just 55 minutes to reach almost like 82 kilometers. Stopping at 15 stations at different places. They are all going to be the development hubs. The transit-oriented development. If you maybe the students of urban management, if they have studied the transit development TOD, transit-oriented development concept, then you will know that every station is going to be hub. So there is, it is going to boost the regional economic growth. At the same time, much faster transit from Delhi to Meerut. And that is the need of the hour, whether it is Delhi to some other place like Delhi to Panipat, Delhi to Alwar. These are all being planned. You see this, the public transport system, the way country is entering into it. All the transport system, for the first time, national waterways, that is being promoted in a big way. The transport planning, normally earlier the city's plans were we prepared a master plan, we never thought about the transport. We had some little ideas on the transport. Now we made it a mandate that when you preparing a master plan, the transport plan should be superimposed on it. Infrastructure plans should be superimposed on it. Now all the plans under the AMRUT scheme, it was one of the reforms which we promoted, which we pushed, that every AMRUT city comes on the GIS master plan, GIS plan. If it is a GIS plan, it becomes so easy that you can have different layers of the other infrastructure laid over it. The traffic management, the whole lot of, I mean, you must have heard about ITMS, Integrated Traffic Management System. The whole lot of the lot of new innovations are coming, the new startups are coming. They are coming so that there is a sustainable transport. There is an integrated one mode, another mode is seamlessly integrated so that people don't have to run here and there, and that reduces the carbon emission. The parking and the tolls. Parking is another area which causes so much of the parking. When the people are parking their vehicles right on the road, it reduces the speed of the vehicle, and that increases the emission. Now you have got the concept of different kinds of the mechanical parking, and that is proliferating in a big way. And I can see that in the time to come, you are going to have more and more mechanical. It's like robotics. The car can come, it can go and station at one place. Just whenever you want, the car will come at your place. So in a small space, you can have more and more stack parking. The green manufacturing. There's something which some of your students will be focused on. The blue economy. You must have heard about the regenerative economy. Regenerative economy, where you regenerate. Like even in the metro system, we used to do regenerative. When the train is stopping, in that period, when the metro is stopping, we regenerate. We use that energy for the sake of, I mean, that can be used the charging of the battery. Then the life cycle assessment. This is a very, very important concept for the those who are students of the sustainable development. The life cycle assessment. Sometimes we are concerned about only upfront costs, only upfront liabilities. The life cycle assessment goes up to when it will ultimately, like in the nature. In the nature of the nature is there is nothing is best. Nothing is best. Everything is eaten away by everything is circular. Everything is cyclic. You have heard about the circular economy. The circular economy concept comes from the nature. In nature, there is no waste. Everything is consumed by the next level. So in this life cycle assessment, from starting to closing, this total cost, what is the cost to the nature, what is the cost to the planet, what is the cost to the society, what is the cost to your economics. So all these things to be assessed. That's when you start doing it, then you are more focused on sustainability. The circular economy and the cradle to cradle. Cradle to cradle is again starting to the end. It's the A to Z complete cycle. The other measures like Mission Life. Have you heard about the Mission Life? Can somebody mention this? Mission Life? Please raise your hand.
Good evening, sir. My name is Swati. I am the student of MBASM first year batch of 2025-27. So, sir, Mission Life stands for Lifestyle for Environment. So, our Honorable Prime Minister is one of the biggest promoters of this mission, wherein we try to involve the communities and the individual and the household levels for following an environment that is sustainable, adopting practices that cater to the bottom line of people, planet, and profit, and follow practices which are cost effective at the same time good for an environment.
Okay, can you give one example from your own life where you are following this life?
Sir, so one of the examples would be using of bicycles instead of cars or scooters.
Very good, excellent example. Some other example?
Also, sir, one more thing which I have usually seen in our campus is that most of the people are carrying cotton or jute tote bags to carry their stuff around the
Very good.
university
Very good.
instead of plastic.
So you lifestyle, change your lifestyle so that you damage the environment in the least manner. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So if you start thinking in terms of this life, you can do a great deal. The Jal Jeevan Mission, I'm not going to dwell more on it. I would like to take your questions. Water conservation again. Natural farming, you must all be knowing about the natural farming. I will take questions because the time is, I just saw the time. Precision farming is something very, very important. What is precision farming? Any of you? Yes, please, go ahead. I think somebody else, his mic is going to somebody else. Yes, precision farming.
Sir, good evening, sir. My name is Likita. I am from MBA SM 2527 batch. So, precision farming is that understanding the crop's need and specifically providing those needs with technological advances so that it increases the productivity as well as we do not go with providing more than necessary resources which are required by the crop.
Okay,
To
very
be
good.
precise.
Very good. Thank you. So for this, what is needed is every plot must have its address. Say when I was Chief Secretary in Uttar Pradesh, we tried to get 100% of the agriculture plot their georeference. If you have the georeference of every plot, then you can address what is the soil condition of that plot, how much of water is needed, what is the fertilizer need, what is the pesticide, everything you can predict about the plot, and that becomes the precision farming. Once you do the precision farming, otherwise you do the broadcasting. Like for the irrigation, you put the water all through. It may not be needed. The water is needed only for particular plant. So you can provide that much of water through either through the sprinkler or through say drip irrigation. That's the precision farming. You can provide that much of nutrition to the plant as it is needed. So the cost comes down. The cost of input comes down through the use of technology, and that is what I've learned through the smart technology in the smart city system. That some additional cost, the gain becomes far more. PM Gati Shakti portal. PM Gati Shakti portal, you are aware? Any of you? PM Gati Shakti? Yes, here. One. PM Gati Shakti.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Kumar Ayush. I'm from MBA UMG first year, and I think it's, I'm not sure, but I would like to take a guess. It's about construction of roads and connecting roads, highways, Gati Shakti.
Somebody else can try. See, when say suppose if a road is to be planned, how do you plan the road? You know that you have to connect this city to this city. The road can go straight, road can go this way, road can go this way. There are various ways in which you can take that road. So one is the geometry, it has to be efficient geometry. At the same time, what is most important, you cannot go inside the forest. You cannot go inside various other kinds of things. There are a lot of restrictions are there. Is it okay? So if you have this whole thing mapped on the georeference map, and you are well aware of that this is a forest, this is your maybe river, this is your maybe a pond, this is maybe agriculture field. So you can plan your infrastructure in such a manner if the georeference plots are available, and who is the owner of this. If you get the whole thing digitally, and now today the word of digital word makes everything possible. The PM Gati Shakti means you have the whole area plotted on the georeference map. And complete who is the owner, what is the ownership, what is the kind of the plot which is there, and then you can plan any kind of infrastructure which used to take a long time, sometimes years. Like when we were young officers, like district magistrate or sub-division magistrate, it used to take years for planning any road, and you are not even aware whether you are adopting the right geometry. But now if all these things are available on the GIS map, it is very easy in just in couple of hours and maybe couple of days. you are able to plan big roads, maybe very big rail infrastructure or anything. Otherwise, you can make something in the river, and the river, once you go on the ground, you find it's a river, you cannot construct it. So a lot of corrections were required. So this PM Gati Shakti has made the whole planning of the urban infrastructure, when I say urban, and not only urban infrastructure, all kind of infrastructure, so simple. It has reduced your efforts and it has made it much more efficient. And you can take the path which is more sustainable path. I'll end with this carbon footprint. I mean, even though we are talking so much about the sustainability, our total carbon footprint is only 2.3 billion tons. Whereas if you take the China, that is 9.9. This is the last report which I dug in. USA is 4.7. That means per capita is much less. Still, our commitment is by 2070 we have to make it a zero emission, and we can do that only through the different kinds of measures, which, I mean, whether it is a transport or energy or urban management or manufacturing. Some of the impacts, how the carbon emission is going to do this, lot of things which are invisible. That's how we have shown in this presentation as it's an iceberg. What is visible to you is only tip of the iceberg. What is happening is all below the sea. All that which you cannot see beneath the water. What is beneath the water? How much is the health hazard it is causing? Like when there's like I come from Delhi, and in Delhi from the month of November to February, it is very difficult to breathe. How much of the health hazard? AQI is so bad, 200, 300, sometimes more than 400 also. It diminishes the quality of life. I mean, it becomes so dark in Delhi. When you go, even in the morning, it becomes so morning, evening, lunchtime, you find so dark. The whole quality of life is challenged. The climate change, what is unfolding today, you don't know what is going to unfold years after. So it is our commitment for our future generations that we must work on the sustainability front. I'll have this is a speech from the Prime Minister. I'm not going to read it. You can read it. The presentation will be there. It covers almost all the aspects. If India has to become Atmanirbhar by 2047, it has become ViksitBharat by 2047, then we should take such measures which are on the path of the sustainability. So thanks a lot for this attention.